Hey YouTube, thank y'all for coming back for episode 3. Rethinking spirituality. I think it is very, very important to Black mental wellness. I think the way we have been taught and trained to look at God has a lot to do with our suffering, the way God was presented to us, and not God. And I want to say again, the God in Jesus that was here long before the Bible was ever written, because the only way we know about God is through the Bible. And therefore, many people believe that our history started with Adam and Eve, when beautiful black melanated people, our history started way before then, way before then. And I believe the strength that we have been living off of has been the ancestral strength from our ancestors, our African ancestors. I think the Christian ancestral strength is running out. That's why we are so tired. I think that's why we got to tap back, y'all, into our roots, the roots of our being. For one, and I'm a researcher and historian, uh, the Mayan calendar ran out, I think it was in 2012, which was the end of, and if I got it wrong, somebody can correct me, was the end of basically patriarchy and external control, end of government ruling or reigning. 500 years of Mayan calendar ran out. So this is what I got, y'all, in meditation, that from 2012 really till now, 2025, God source has given Christians an opportunity to go back inward. To go back inward, to heal some of your emotional wounds, to be honest about that, because the church structure is crumbling. I mean, we all know this. But Christians have been charged from then until now to go back inward. So many of us, I know I have had, crisis and trauma and shit and stuff, things that would send me right back on my face. To go back inward and not trust the systemic structures. And if y'all be honest with yourself, church life has got consistently worse since 2012. So it's going to be real important to rethink your spirituality, because if you're going to approach your mental wellness, again, believing in a God that might send you to a burning hell if you don't get it right. And y'all, let me tell you where this would come from. Working with so many traumatized people that were living in hell, going through hell, like day after day, week after week, hearing those stories. To me, they got a pass for the rest of their life. They can do anything bad that they want to do. Ain't no way they going to hell. They can't, because they done been through too much. Like, ain't no way you got to tell me this person got to walk the straight and narrow according to what men wrote in a book 2,000 years after Jesus was already gone. So, whew, yeah. But I'm going to read a little bit of chapter 3 in my book, to kind of give you guys an idea of who I am, where I've been, because this has been scary for me. I have wondered. You can see in the thumbnail. Oh my God, what are my Christian friends gonna think? With my new belief system. But y'all, I don't even have a belief system anymore. I know. I don't. To believe, you have to reach outside of you and look at facts and wonder, is that what you believe? But when you know that you know that you know, you'll quit lying to yourself about what you believe. When you know that you know that you know some of this stuff you've been taught don't even line up with you. And a lot of Christians and pastors definitely can't believe the Bible for real. Ain't no way you will believe in hell with the way some of y'all run women. You don't believe hell is real? I mean, for real, take it out of land. And he that hath the ear, let him hear. Ain't no way you believe in it, hell for real. So stop standing up and teaching people that. You talk about the love of God. The more you talk about the love of God, then the more you're going to attract that. You ain't got to preach another hell ceremony to nobody. You really don't. It's the love that you got to tap into. And man, we are so loved and so wanted and so adored. And in the last video, when I was talking about the spiritual bypass of how our emotions have been cut off, again, your emotional health is directly tied to your spiritual health. If you're not honest about what you are feeling, good, bad, ugly, fear, whatever, if you're not honest about this whole damn wheel, this wheel, then you can't be in your creativity then. Whether it's song or drawing or writing, whatever it is, it's going to be lacking emotionally. See, your emotions need to be, you need to be able to access them in order to create. Black people, we've always been the essence, the vibe, the creator. We've always been that pulse, that heartbeat. But our emotions are so waxed and waned and confused, we losing that. And that's my role. That's what I'm here for. But let me be quiet. Let me read chapter 3. It said, the first breath. After I came back home to Memphis, after my son was finally out of the woods, I knew I wasn't the same. Something had broken open in me. Something had shifted, cracked, changed. But I couldn't name it yet. One day I got restless. I was drained. Couldn't sit in that apartment another minute longer. I threw on some clothes and decided to walk the block. No real direction. I just needed some air. That's when I stumbled across what I thought was a little pink trinket shop. Nothing deep. Maybe I find a cute candle or bracelet, something small, just to take my mind off of yet another trauma that I had been through. But as soon as I stepped inside, I looked around. Candles, crystals, statues, incense, burning slow and soft. All things that Christianity, with its long-ass trail of black trauma, told me to stay away from. I felt tight. I felt defensive, like I had done something wrong. My spirit was like, what in the witchcraft is this? I was standing there low-key, fussing out loud. Y'all know how we do. When this beautiful dark-skinned black woman with eyes clear like water walked up to me, calm, grounded, unbothered by all the noise I was making. She said, hi, my name is Maria. I said, hey, sis, y'all black owned? She smiled and said, yes, I'm the owner. And something in me softened immediately. I said, oh, good, girl. Because I don't know about all this weird stuff in here, but I do know one thing. This was ours first. And whiteness is always stealing stuff from us and flipping us, trying to make us feel like it's demonic. So, time out. Around this time, I think I had gone to see The Woman King. And I need to tell this story that I was taking cultural anthropology, and the professor asked, what belief do you have to suspend to make all these other beliefs true? Looking at anthropology. And it was easy for me. I said, well, the belief that I have to suspend is that Jesus is getting ready to come back and the world going to catch on fire. That's all I've been knowing since I was a little girl. God going to get you if you don't act right, and the world's going to catch on fire. Real talk. That was my first anxiety disorder. I ain't going to lie with you. Just thinking, God going to get me. That was my first anxiety disorder. That put me in that whole doing and check box and wanting to do the right thing. So around that time, I know God had just given me the vision and dream to build a school, the University of Mental Health. So I'm excited about that, but I'm tired as hell. Like, when am I have time to build a damn school if Trump keep winning and the world gonna end? Lord, Jesus, for real. Like, you giving me all of this, but still I'm looking at, society. So the thing was, I have to suspend the belief that Jesus is coming back. And I suspended that belief. So then ran into Maria's shop. So I want y'all to keep that in mind, because I didn't put all that in the book. Or maybe I did. I said, well, good, because I don't know about all this weird stuff, but I do know one thing. This was ours first, Woman King movement. And whiteness is always stealing from us and flipping it like we are demonic or crazy. I was trying to bond with her, trying to ground myself, but I was also trying to be a little messy. Maria wasn't biting, y'all. She wasn't fazed, not one bit. She just looked at me like she could see straight through my spirit, and then she softly, like a mama who already knew what I needed, said to me, breathe. And y'all, when she said breathe, I tried, but I couldn't. I gasped, and then the tears came. My throat locked up. And right there in the shop, I broke down, just started crying. I think it was the weight of Caleb's accident. I had missed all of that money, because I couldn't work. I was like, damn, I just cried, the ugly cry, hand shaking, snot flowing, the whole thing. And so I'm saying to myself, Harpo, who this woman? Because in that moment, I realized that I had been breathing probably for about 10 years. I realized that, listen to all those trauma stories walking around. I was walking around like this all the time. All the time, I'm like this, and I'm a force. This is how I lived, slept, eat, breathe, like this. And the woman just told me to breathe. So, Harpo, who this woman? For 20 years, I said 20 years in the book, I've been holding my breath, taking in other people's trauma, swallowing pain into my bones, absorbing heartbreak, grief, abandonment, rage, and calling it professionalism. And I didn't even know it. When I finished crying, Maria gently invited me into a sound bath reading. I didn't know what I was walking into, but I said yes. And when it was done, I stepped out like I had been born again, like something old had been washed off of me. And I went to pay, and y'all, this is what happened next. On that same day, I'm going to break the fourth wall real quick. Somebody cue the organ and hold my mute, for real, because this is what happened next. This one I knew I had come home to spirit. I had come back home to source. This was the confirmation right here. As I walked to the register, still dazed, trying to ground myself, this beautiful young woman walked up to me and said, "Do I know you?" I blinked and I said, "Baby, I don't know. Hell, I don't even know myself right now." Because I felt so good, but again, shit, I don't know if she can put a spirit in me. I'm being honest. But I said, "Baby, I don't know." And she smiled and said, "I remember you from Memphis Behavioral Health." That's the fictitious name of the hospital in the book. "You stood up to my father on my behalf. You helped me so much. After you left, I went back a few times, but I got it right. And right now, I'm 3 years clean." Y'all, I wept again at the cash register. But wait. Then she started looking above my head, and literally, she said, "Do y'all see that?" This is what she's saying to the other people. "Do y'all see that light above her head?" Talking about my head. And the other woman said, "Yeah, it's a light. The brightest light is above her head." And I about lost it. That was a confirmation. I knew I had found home. Not in a building, not in a doctorate, but in spirit. Down in my belly, in my knower. The way only a country church girl could understand. Because let me tell you something about this journey. You don't have to give up who you are to walk in your spirit. You don't have to abandon your roots. Just let them expand and let them bloom. What Maria told me during my sound bath reading, my first one, she looked me dead in the eye and said, "Your soul is over 7,000 years old." And I just started weeping because, y'all, it felt like it. She said, "You asked to come to earth to care for people 25 and under." She just wanted to know nothing about me. Chills still roll down my spine every time I think about it. She told me about my ancestors and how proud they were of me. And y'all, Jesus let them in. Don't tell me what I know. Don't argue with my walk. I'm telling you. Somebody cue the Hammond 3B organ because Jesus was there. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, Jesus. Okay. From that day forward, I stopped questioning who I was becoming. I stopped trying to fit into spaces that couldn't hold my light. I stopped holding my breath. I started breathing. I was still walking around Maria's shop, blinking through tears, trying to make sense of what had cracked open in me. My whole body felt different. I didn't want to leave, but I also didn't know what to do next. I was looking at the crystals and oils and candles, feeling very overwhelmed. And I looked at Maria and said, "Sis, where do I start? What do I get? Shit, how do I keep whatever this is turned on?" She smiled, that same soft, steady smile, and said something so simple, but so liberating and so freeing. And it unlocked something deep in my spirit. She said, "Go to wherever you are drawn. Trust yourself." Whew. Trust yourself. Black women. We've never had permission from another black woman, y'all, to trust ourselves. Mamas made us feel like we couldn't trust ourselves. Aunties made us feel like we couldn't trust ourselves. Ooh, Lord. She said, "Trust yourself." to trust my instincts, to let my spirit guide me instead of waiting for someone else to tell me what I needed. And that was the beginning, y'all. Now, y'all, I love my little altar over there that I go and sit and meditate. Got the cutest crystals, the most tender affirmations, the sweetest smells, the realest reflections, and I can sit there for hours. And I can feel my grandmama, my auntie Teppo, my grandma Elvira, and Braylon, and it had just the most beautiful visitation from Tojo the other night. And just hung up with his son. Tojo was dressed in almost like armor. And it was beautiful African, like deity, broad shoulders. Braylon was right there with him, dressed in the same armor. And Tojo came to get me, because I got you. This wasn't a dream. And Tojo took me to, I knew was kind of like a goddess, and basically said, here she is. And I'm going to keep the rest to myself. But yeah, rethinking spirituality. So, I want to be real and raw and transparent and tell y'all the truth, because that's the only way I know how to tell it. If Maria had walked up to me and said, "Can I pray for you?" Right after coming home, Caleb's accident, with all the shit I was in, if she had said, "Can I pray for you?" Y'all know me. If she had said that in that moment, I would have said, "Bitch, what you mean, can you pray for me? This is in my book. I've been praying my whole motherfucking life. I know how to pray. Don't come to me like I ain't prayed. I know how to pray. I know how to read the scripture. I did everything they told me to do. And all this shit still happened. So somewhere I got to rethink this." But she didn't say that. She didn't try to lay hands on me. She didn't try to get performative. She didn't go full altar call and try to fix me. She simply said, "Breathe." And that's it, breathe. And that shook me deeper than any sermon ever has. Because, y'all, I never learned that in church. In church, I learned to serve, to suffer, to shout, to dance, to pray, to perform, to gossip, to exclude. I learned how to fake it until I bled. I learned how to wear a hat, wear a mask, to wear out my spirit, trying to look whole in public while falling apart in private. But I never learned how to breathe. Nobody told me breath was holy. Nobody said stillness was sacred. Nobody taught me that exactly as I am, as already that I'm enough. I learned performance. I learned perfectionism. I learned church politics and pain. But that one word from Maria, that was the first time I felt like God trusted me with myself. Like maybe I didn't need to be delivered. Maybe I just needed to return to my own breath. And all of this is why I know how deeply and fully I am loved by the God of this universe. This wasn't coincidence. It wasn't chance. It was alignment. It was attraction. It was already written. This work found me. This is her story. So I want to say their names. Maria and her Polish husband, Krzysztof, have become an integral part of my spiritual journey. Together they run a warm, sacred metaphysical shop called Lucia Huga, named after Krzysztof's Polish mother, tucked right in Midtown Memphis on Madison Avenue. And no, this ain't just a shout out. These are two remarkable souls have transformed my perspective on life itself. Maria taught me one of the most profound lessons I've ever received. You owe yourself your life. And that shook me. Because she wasn't talking about self-care. She was talking about divine assignment. My path was set long before I entered the physical realm. I'm so deeply grateful for her guidance, her wisdom, and her grounded presence. Y'all, I don't even go to traditional therapy anymore. I don't. My monthly sessions with Maria have become sacred ritual. My altar, my mirror, my soul classroom. Every session is another page I turn back to myself. And every visit reminds me that I was never lost, just waiting to breathe again. So as I'm learning to breathe, really breathe, I find myself diving deeper within me, researching, studying, opening wide. I'm questioning everything I thought I knew, unlearning, relearning, letting my curiosity lead. Yeah, I just wanted y'all to know that about me. And I want the rest of y'all to do that too. And I got another video to make. Y'all see me making these bubbles and playful videos. You'll know that you're getting healthier the closer you get back to wanting to play. Like, y'all, I got this this blow up thing. I can't wait to do this for Easter with the kids in the park. And I'm going to do a video on inner child work and how inner child work really keeps us in a traumatized state. The only thing you need from your inner child is spontaneity and play. That's all you need. And I'm going to do a video about that next. Thank y'all for tuning in. Be well.